GRIAS Academy.
100 days, 100 themes, one goal, UPSC Prelims. Hello all, welcome back to the program Mission Surya Phase 3, a STEM revision program where we deal with current affairs regarding science and technology and environment in completely prelims perspective. So let's get started with our today's session. In our today's session, we basically, we have seen yesterday, we have revised a few topics which we have gone through from the day one of the STEM revision program. So today we will go through few more topics which are related, which we have already done in the previous classes. Okay, so let's get started. In our today's revision session, we will start with PM Surya Gar Muft Bijli Yojana. What is this Muft Bijli Yojana? It is an Government of India scheme. It is an Government of India scheme which is launched in the year 2024. Okay, this is launched in which year? 2024. For what? For promoting the households to have solar power rooftops so that to reduce the electricity bills of them. Okay, this is what the Muft Bijli Yojana from the Government of India scheme has come up. Okay, let's see few details. We won't go into complete details of the any schemes or any initiatives. We will just have an overlook on it, which is important for the prelims perspective. Okay, now let's get started. What is the nodal agency for it? The nodal agency is Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Okay, and what is the target? The target is installation of rooftop solar systems in 1 crore residential households by financial year 2026 and 27. Okay, what is the core objective of it? It is to provide 300 units of free electricity. 300 units of free electricity per month to beneficiary households. Okay, next, what is the total outlay? What is the budget which is allocated to this project is 75,021 crores, which is centrally sponsored. Okay, this is regarding the PM Surya Gar Muft Bijli Yojana. And the next is Green Energy Corridor. Green Energy Corridor. This is also regarding the electricity itself. Okay, what is the nodal ministry of it? It is the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Okay, next, what is the Interstate Transmission System Power Grid Corporation of Limited? What is the implementing agency? The implementing agency is Interstate Transmission System Power Grid Corporation of India Limited. Okay, to synchronize the electricity which is produced from the renewable sources like solar, wind, etc. with conventional power stations, ensuring the seamless integration into the national grid without causing any voltage fluctuations. This is the main target of green energy. Okay, green energy corridor. Next, let's see, this green energy corridor is again is of two phases. In phase 1, near completion, implementation across 8 renewable rich states. What are they? Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Himachal Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh. These are the 8 renewable rich states from where the electricity is being produced to evacuate approximately 24 gigawatts of renewable energy. Okay, next, in phase 2, that is in between the intrastate. In intrastate, what is the target of it is to evacuate approximately 20 gigawatts of renewable energy. Okay, next, what is the implementation timeline of this phase 1 is? Phase 2 is financial year 2021 to 2022 to financial year 2025 to 2026. This is the implementation timeline of phase 2 of intrastate GEC, green energy corridors, phase 2 intrastate. Okay, next is, what are the 7 target states of this phase 2 is? It is Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh. Okay, next, what is the funding now? We have seen it is centrally sponsored, the Muft Bijli Yojana, but this is sponsored, 33% is fund is supported by the central financial assistance of the project. Okay, next, coming to the GEC phase 2. Okay, in this interstate Ladakh project. Interstate Ladakh project. What is it? It is highly relevant for the recent current affairs. We will see what is the objective of it is setting up a transmission system. Setting up a transmission system by evacuating 13 gigawatts of renewable energy from a place called Pang in Ladakh to Kaithal in Haryana. From Ladakh to Haryana. Okay, the power has to get transmitted. The grids are present here. The power has to shift from Ladakh to Haryana. Okay, so see, setting up a transmission system for evacuating how much gigawatts of energy? 13 gigawatts of renewable energy from Pang of Ladakh to Kaithal of Haryana. What is the timeline of it? The timeline is, it is targeted to complete by the financial year 2029 to 2030. Okay, what is the funding then? The center is providing 40% of the funding of the project. 40% of funding of the project. Okay, next, what is the significance of it? It involves complex engineering through the Himalayas, linking a geopolitical sensitive region to the national grid. Okay, basically this Ladakh is located in the Himalayan regions, right? From there the power is being generated through using renewable resources and is being transmitting into the place of Haryana. Okay, so for that the transmission system is being built. Okay, these are few points which you have to remember about this what you call green energy corridor. Okay, moving on. The next topic is responsible national index. Responsible national index, which is ranked based on the nations which are responsible. Okay, see, the responsible nation index was released in 2026. What is this? It evaluates how many countries? It evaluates 154 countries. 154 countries through how many? 3 core responsibilities. By seeing the 3 core responsibilities and operationalized through 7 themes and 13 sub-themes and 58 specific indicators. Okay, next, let's see what are these 3 core responsibilities. Just have a basic idea, don't go into a detailed depth. I mean, because we have already gone through this all the theoretical content, I am just going on a basic manner. Okay, so let's see what are those 3 core responsibilities. Okay, the first one is internal responsibility, environmental responsibility and external responsibility. These are the 3 core responsibilities. Next, coming to the global top 5 countries in responsible national index. What are those? The first is Singapore, then which secured the top global rank, followed by Switzerland, Denmark, Cyprus and Sweden. What is it? Singapore, Switzerland, Denmark, next Cyprus and Sweden. Okay, remember this order so that examiner might ask you in increasing order or decreasing order. Okay, next, what is the position of India then? India ranked how much? India ranked 16th in responsible nation index. Okay, making the highest ranked Asian country. What is the highest ranked Asian country in the responsible nations index? Is the India, which ranked 16th. Okay, next, the Central African Republic ranked the last, like a 154th rank from the bottom performer. Okay, next, this is about the responsible nation index. The next comes this battery energy storage system. Okay, we will see few policies regarding this battery energy storage system. What are these? The first one is the viability gap funding scheme. The viability gap funding scheme, which is for battery energy storage system in 2023, has developed for 4,000 megawatts of BESS projects by 2030 to 31. This is one of the policy. The next is the government provides up to how much? 40% of the cost as VGF to make battery storage commercially viable. Okay, next, a minimum of 85% of BESS, a minimum 85% of this battery energy storage system project capacity must be made available to distribution companies. Okay, must be 85% must be available to the distribution companies. This is what the government of India has come up. Okay, next is the sustainable aviation fuels. Sustainable aviation fuels, we spoke about this fuels also. Like these are the alternative fuels. Alternative fuels for flights, right? What is the basic fuel which we used in jets is the normal jet fuel. In place of this normal jet fuel, we replaced it with sustainable aviation fuels so that the carbon emissions in the atmosphere also gets reduces. Okay, next. We have like three generations of the sustainable aviation fuels based on the sources from which they are extracted. What are they? The first one is the first generation. The source of this creating first generation sustainable aviation fuels is sugars, starches and vegetable oils. Okay, these are often debated because of the quantity food versus fuel and quantity fuel and food conflict. Okay, this is the major debate, the first generation. Next is the second generation. For the second generation, non-food sources are used. Okay, what are those non-food crops? Like agricultural residues and forestry waste and used cooking oil. Okay, used cooking oil is also used as a source to produce second generation sustainable aviation fuels. Okay, so the second generation sustainable aviation fuels are produced by using non-food crops, okay, like agricultural residues, the forestry waste, etc. And the used cooking oil is also used as a source to produce second generation sustainable aviation fuels. Okay, so India heavily prioritizes what? Second generation feedstocks to avoid food security issues. Okay, next coming to the third generation is completely algae based fuels, not the food crops and all. Algae is used as the source. Okay, so now there are few policies regarding the sustainable aviation fuel. We'll see what are those policies. The first one is National Blending Mandate, which is managed by the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. What it says is 1% of sustainable aviation fuel, 1% of sustainable aviation fuel blending target for all international flights departing from India by 2027. Okay, 1% of SAF has to be blended in the flights which are departing from India by 2027. Okay, next 2%. The next it has a target of blending 2% of sustainable aviation fuel blending to the normal fuel in the international flights departing from by 2028. This is the target for 2028. It is 2% of SAF. For 2027 it is 1% of SAF. Okay, and 5% of indicative target by 2030. By 2030, 5% of SAF has to be blended with the normal jet planes so that the carbon emissions will get reduced. Okay. Next, this is about the sustainable aviation fuels. And coming to the domestic technology development, another policy of SAF is domestic technology development. What is this? It is the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Indian National Institute of Petroleum has indigenously developed a single-step catalytic process. Single-step catalytic process in to convert non-edible oils and used cooking oils into sustainable aviation fuels, which is developed indigenously by Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Indian Institute of Petroleum. Okay, so whenever it is indigenous, please have a note on it because the examiner might ask you in this areas because they are developed completely in India. Okay, next. Next policy is Global Biofuel Alliance. Global Biofuel Alliance. What is this? It is launched by India during the G20 presidency. G20 presidency. The GBA aims to facilitate global technology transfer and standardized certification for biofuels, directly supporting the sustainable aviation fuel supply chain. Okay. Next. This is about the sustainable aviation fuels. Moving on to the next topic. Our next topic is small modular reactors. Small modular reactors. Okay. We'll see what are these. We have seen this completely. Now we'll see on a basic note where these SMRs are developed. India and indigenous SMR models. India and indigenous SMR models, which is developed by BARC and NPCIL. AMP and NPCIL. Okay. This first one is BSMR 200, Bharat Small Modular Reactor 200. What is its capacity? Its capacity is 200 megawatts. Okay. What is the proposed site of this BSMR 200 is Tarapur Atomic Power Station, which is located in Maharashtra. Okay, what is the application of this BSMR 200? It's captive power for energy intensive industries like steel, cement and repurposing retiring coal plants. Repurposing the retired coal plants. Okay. Next. The next one is SMR 55. SMR 55. What is its capacity? 55 megawatts. Okay. Which is proposed in which area? Tarpur of Maharashtra. Same. What is the application of it? It is designed specifically to provide power to remote and off-grid areas. Okay. Off-grid locations. Next is HTGCR, which is high temperature gas cooled reactor. High temperature gas cooled reactor. The capacity is up to 5 megawatts, which is in thermal condition, which is proposed by BARC Vizag, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. What is its applications? To meant specifically for green hydrogen generation. It is meant specifically for the green hydrogen generation to decarbonize the transport sector, not just electricity, not just for electricity, for transportation purpose also. This HTGCR is being used. Okay. Next. Coming to the next topic, waste to wealth technologies. Waste to wealth technologies means converting this waste to the wealth. Okay. Now, what are the key government scheme of this? The first one is Gobardhan scheme. Gobardhan scheme, START initiative, which is a sustainable alternative towards affordable transportation and co-processing in cement kilns. Okay. These are the key government schemes of waste to wealth technology. Okay. Next is the microbial fuel cells, MCFs, microbial fuel cells. Okay. It is a traditional fuel cell which uses hydrogen and oxygen gas to generate the electricity and water, and they do not rely on any living organisms. Okay. Next. Microbial fuel cells, what they do? They use bacteria and organic waste to produce electricity and water. Okay. The next type is microbial electrolysis cell, which is a closely related technology. Instead of producing electricity, an MEC requires a small input of external electricity to force the bacteria to produce pure hydrogen gas. Okay. From the organic waste. From organic waste, it needs a small amount of external electricity should be applied so that it can convert this organic waste into pure hydrogen gas. This is for microbial electrolysis cell. Okay. Next. Moving forward. Next is India's clean energy transition. What is it? And we'll see the goals. Okay. India has continually enhanced its targets, progressing from a 2030 goal of 50%. By 2030, 50% of goal is kept installed capacity from non-fossil sources to a legally upgraded target of 60% by 2035. Okay. Next. India has already it already achieved its old target of 2030, that is 50%. Okay, by achieving how much? 52.5%, not 50%. Additional of 2.5% is also achieved by India, that is 52.5% installed capacity from non-fossil fuel origins. Okay. Next, as a late of 2025, the installed capacity of non-fossil fuel sources reached a staggering 256.09 gigawatts, meeting over 51.5% of total electricity demand in India. Okay, next. We have different types of energy sources, right? Like solar energy, wind energy, and all. Let's see the first solar energy and what are the policies of it. Okay, we'll look into it. Coming into the solar energy, we'll see the policies of it. What is it? ALMM exemption. ALMM exemption. What is it? To push a rural electrification, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, relaxed efficiency norms under the approved list of models and manufacturers. So, the off-grid applications between 200 watts like solar lanterns now requires only 18% of efficiency. How much efficiency they require now? 18% of efficiency, down from 19%. Okay, which is encouraging the MSME participation in this electricity production. Okay. Next, this is the ALM exemption of solar energy. Next is the ISA interventions. This ISA interventions are launched by the Sunrise Initiative. Focusing on the circular economy, means end of the life management of PVs or batteries. Okay, and signed procurement MOUs, memorandums for small island developing states. Okay. This is about ISA interventions. That is of solar energy. Now coming to wind energy. In wind energy, the first policy is ALMM wind. Okay. These frameworks guarantee what? The quality and reliability of wind infrastructure. By mandating the domestic sources. Of core components like blades, towers and gearboxes from approved Indian suppliers. Okay, means they are going completely indigenous, because most of the for wind energy we import this blades, this towers, gearboxes and all we are importing. Rather than importing, we are making it indigenous. Okay, coming to the innovation exemptions of this wind energy, to prevent a stifling R&D, research and development, new models and manufacturers are exempted from these strict rules for up to 800 megawatts over 2-year period. For over a 2-year period, the one which is developing, which the manufacturers and the R&D departments are surpassed from these rules, strict rules. Up to how many megawatts? 800 megawatts. So, in wind energy, India ranked 4th globally in installed wind capacity. And is actively targeting to supply 10% of global wind. Okay, equipment demanded by 2030. Next is geothermal energy. Now this geothermal energy, the NPGE 2025 provides exploration lease up to what year? 3 to 5 years. Okay, and developmental lease up to 30 years. And exploration lease up to 3 to 5 years is being provided by NPGE for geothermal energy. Okay, it allows the extraction of critical minerals by products like lithium, silica, cesium, etc. Okay, to subject to the MMDR Act. Okay, so financial backing includes 100% funding for non-profits under the RERTDA scheme. Okay, this is important because we are coming up with geothermal energy, which is the new source of energy generation. Okay, so have a note of it. Next, coming to green hydrogen. Okay, green hydrogen standards. GHCI standards. What is the standards of it is to qualify and quit green production emissions must strictly maintain or below 2 kg carbon dioxide, which is equivalent or kg of hydrogen. Okay. Next, coming to the next policy, National Green Hydrogen Mission, which is launched to transform India into an export hub, not an import hub, India to be in the position of export hub. Okay. The machine targets the production of 5 MMT per annum, 5 metric million tons per annum by 2030. The key ports like Deen Dayal, VO, Chidambaram and Paradip have been designated as green hydrogen hubs. What are the green hydrogen hubs which have been designated as a key ports means, one is Deen Dayal port, the second one is VO port, Chidambaram port, Chidambarnar port and Paradip port. These 5 ports have been 1, 2, 3, 4. These 4 ports have been designated as the green hydrogen hubs. Okay. Next, this is about the few green hydrogen, the sustainable fuels, this and alternative fuels. These are all the alternate fuels, right? So, now coming on to the environmental legislations in India. This from here it is completely the environment topics. Okay. Now, coming on to the environmental topics, we will see today few legislations of environment, and then for tomorrow also we will have a revision session, so that we will conclude all the environmental topics for tomorrow's class. Okay. Now, see, first is Article 48 capital A. Article 48 capital A, which is very important for the environment related concepts, which is kept in the DPSPs. Okay, directive principles of state policies. Okay, it directs what? It directs the state to protect and improve the environment and to safeguard forest and wildlife. This is Article 48 capital A. The next article is Article 51 capital A clause G, which is in the fundamental duties. Article 48 capital A is in directive principles of state policy, and Article 51 capital A clause G is in fundamental rights. What does this Article 51 clause capital A clause G says is, it makes the duty of every citizen, to protect the environment and improve the natural environment, including forests, lakes, rivers and wildlife, and not to have compassion for living creatures. Okay. Next article is Article 21, which is in the fundamental rights. Okay, what does this article states is, the Supreme Court has expansively interpreted the right to life, to include the right to a clean and wholesome environment, with the case of Subhash Kumar versus State of Bihar case in 1991. From this case, the Supreme Court has gave a judgment like, it has expansively interpreted the right to life. For the right to life article, it has to be included. The right to clean and wholesome environment is also have to be added with the Article 21 of fundamental rights, with the case of Subhash Kumar versus State of Bihar case 1991. Okay. Next, moving forward. Wildlife, we will see few protection acts and all regarding the environment. The first one is Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Basically, these are not present in the constitution previously. They are into the constitution by the amendment of 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Okay. So, let us see the first one. The first one is Wildlife Protection Act 1972. See, protection of listed flora, fauna and ecologically important protected areas. Okay. See, protection of listed flora, fauna and ecologically important protected areas comes under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Next is Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974. What does this state is? Its primary objective is to prevention and control of water pollution and maintenance or restoration of water wholesomeness. Okay. The next act is Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981, which says the prevention, control and abatement of air pollution. The next one is Forest Conservation Act 1980. Okay, what is the key objective of this is to strictly regulate the diversification of to strictly regulate the de-reservation of forests and the diversion of forest lands for non-forestry purposes. Okay. So, prior approval of the central government is mandatory. If anyone wanted to utilize the land in an approximate area of the forest, the central government has to give a permission. Without the permission, it is considered it as illegal under the Forest Conservation Act 1980. Okay. Next, the next one is Environment Protection Act 1986. What is this? What is the trigger of it? It is enacted in the wake of Bhopal Gas Strategy 1984. It has come into force enacted in the wake of the Bhopal Gas Strategy 1984. Okay, what is the nature of this act is? It is an umbrella legislation. It is an umbrella scheme that provides a framework for central government, coordination of activities by various authorities which are established under previous laws like Water Act, Air Act and etc. Okay, this is about the Environment Protection Act 1986. The next one is Biological Diversity Act 2002. Biological Diversity Act 2002, which is the international alignment. This is the international alignment which is enacted by the enacted to implement the Convention on Biological Diversity. Convention on Biological Diversity for what? To which India is a part. Okay, it ensures fair and equitable benefit sharing with local communities holding traditional knowledge, preventing bio-privacy. This is about Biological Diversity Act 2002. Next is Forest Right Act 2006. Basically, the full name of this act is Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers. Scheduled Tribes and Other Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forests Act, Forest Rights Act 2006. This is the full name of Forest Rights Act 2006. I will repeating. The full name of this Forest Rights Act 2006 is Scheduled Tribes and Other Traditional Forest Dwellers Recognition of Forest Rights Act 2006. This is the full name of Forest Rights Act 2006. Okay. Next, what is the nodal agency of this? The nodal agency for this, Ministry of Tribal Affairs. Okay. Next, basically the UPSC might trick you like asking the nodal agency for forest right acts in the statement based question also, like Ministry of Forest and Environment and Climate Change, because it is based on the forest only, so that we will say yes, it is the Ministry of Forest Economic and Ministry of Economic Forest Environment, Forest and Climate Change, we will say this. No, but it's not the right answer. It comes under the Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So, have a note on it. Next is National Green Tribunal Act 2010. Okay, what is the objective of it? To effective and expeditious disposal of cases. Relating to environmental protection, which is mandate to dispose of application within the 6 months. Beyond 6 months, the case should not be there in the case of environment. Okay, that's why the National Green Tribunal Act 2010 has come up. So let's see a few statutory body rules and the parent regulations of those statutory bodies. Okay, the first one is Central Pollution Control Board. Central Pollution Control Board, its parent nodal agency is Water Act 1974. The next is National Board for Wildlife. What is the nodal agency of it? The parent legislation, the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Next is National Tiger Conservation Authority. It is the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Next is Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee, comes under the Environmental Protection Act 1986. The next is the Central Groundwater Authority. It comes under Environment Protection Act 1986. Next, the Eco-Sensitive Zones Declarations, which comes under Environment Protection Act 1986, and Coastal Regulation Zones also comes under the Environment Protection Act 1986, and National Biodiversity Authority comes under Biological Diversity Act 2002. Okay, this might be coming for the match the following. This is very much important for the this table is very much important for the match the following. Okay, so the examiner might give you the this statutory bodies and the parent legislature up and down, and he can ask for the match the following, or else they can tell which of the following pairs are correct. Okay, so have a look on these tables which we are providing in our website in our note. Okay, next. So for today we have revised a few topics of environment, and as well as we have completed the topics of science and technology what we have dealt previously. Yesterday and today we have revised the science and technology topics, and we have touched a few environmental topics for today, and tomorrow we will complete all the environmental topics till we completed, and we'll revise everything tomorrow. And do prepare well, because the science and technology and environment is very scoring subject in the prelims examination, and it is a game changer obviously. So I hope everyone like this content. So to get a detailed note on it, please do visit our website and download it from there, and I'll see you all tomorrow with another video of the revision of the rest of the environmental topics. Do like, share and subscribe our YouTube channel. Do follow our Instagram ID and Telegram ID as well for your UPSC preparation. Thank you.